This is a winter weather alert from the Arkansas Storm Team.
You're taking a live look right now at an RDOT camera. This is going to be Interstate 40, just south of Conway. You can see things are slow moving right now. We're about to get an update from the Arkansas Department of Transportation, but want to remind you that we are closely tracking a lot of sleet, freezing rain, those temperatures that continue to hover around that freezing mark, which is creating for almost this nightmare scenario across the metro right now. I want to get to Arkansas Department of Transportation spokesperson Dave Parker. Dave Parker joining us live now. Dave, we just got word from the Department of Emergency Management now asking people to stay off the roads, citing that things are getting bad. Conditions are deteriorating very rapidly. Can you kind of give us an idea of what's happening across some of these highways and roadways across the state?
Sure, Mitch. First of all, I think that that advice or suggestion is fantastic because, yes, things are getting worse quickly. What you're seeing now is only going to get a little worse the next 36 hours because we're going to see much more of this precipitation today and certainly even more tomorrow. Across the state so far, thankfully, we've had few reports of major accidents. We do have single lane closures on I-49 in the northwest part of the state, I-40, I-49, Ozark, Russellville, north of Conway, as you were showing there, is a trouble spot right now. We've got some icy patches there. Here in the central part of the state, we're trying to deal with the major roads, 40, 440, 530, 630, 67, 167, all getting our attention right now. But yeah, the forecast, I described it earlier as it developed quickly, it evolved quickly. It went from the north, the line being just north of Little Rock, and it dipped down a little more than we anticipated, more than the forecasters did. So we had to react a little quicker than we had hoped for.
Looking at some of these conditions, Dave Parker, and we're looking at Interstate 40, we're looking at Interstate 30, I should say, near I-40. So we're looking from North Little Rock down to downtown Little Rock. For some of these drivers that are out there, and I'm just looking at the camera, sometimes it doesn't really give us a good perspective on distance in between cars, but it would appear that there are a lot of cars just following way too closely. This is not the scenario that you want going into some kind of winter weather event like this. That you're absolutely right. In a situation where the forecast develops so quickly, it's really prudent for people to create distance between themselves.
I don't think that's the braking distance I want on a normal day, but I understand how it is. I'm out there as well as anybody, but yeah, we say it all the time, braking distance, whatever you allow for on a normal day, at least double that. Wherever you have to go, if it takes you 20 minutes, plan on it taking you 30 or 40. What's the harm? The worst thing is you're going to be possibly late somewhere, whether it's work or picking someone up or you have to get out. I would rather get there 20 minutes late than get involved in an accident. I think anyone would take that any time of the day, any time of the week. So, yeah, I understand this came up quickly. People were at work. People were at school. School started getting called out. The roads may be a little heavier populated right now because people trying to get home from picking up their kids. I understand that. So just take it slow and easy and get there and get safe and be warm. We're out there 24/7 now. All 10 districts are working on that 24/7 around the clock schedule, and we'll get to it and hit it hard the next 36 hours and look for Friday when it's going to be sunny and 25.
Yeah, you're right. And it's kind of another almost deja vu moment, Dave, because it feels like just a couple of weeks ago we were talking about this and we were going through this winter weather scenario again. So, I mean, that was almost like a get ready moment, right? I mean, things got bad, but they didn't really get bad during this most recent event, at least here in Central Arkansas. And it seems like now you guys have a really good handle on what's happening as, at least right now, as you guys respond to the weather event.
Yeah, two things, Mitch. You know, I was talking to a few other media folks yesterday and even the day before, and I kept saying, you know, don't let your guard down. And it sounds like I said that to my kids yesterday, and they said, you sound like your grandpa out there. Don't keep your guard, let your guard down. And I said, I'm telling you, that one time you do think I've got it, I've got this, I've got it under control. It sneaks up and hits you. And this storm this morning developed, the forecast kind of sped up a little bit. We had to react a little quicker, as I said, than what we had anticipated. Fortunately, yesterday, we did a lot of pre-treatment in the river valley and areas to the north and northwest. That is a blessing. We got a little hold on that. I'm not saying conditions there are fantastic right now, but at least we got some pre-treatment down. And quickly this morning here in Central Arkansas, we were loading up the brine trucks as quickly as we could and getting out and hitting those major roads. But as I told my kids, it may sound like the old dad, but the old dad likes to play it safe.
Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you there, Dave. For folks just joining us, we are talking with Dave Parker. He is the spokesperson for the Arkansas Department of Transportation. Dave, I want to bring your attention here, and I'm hoping you're able to see it as I bring up this. This is looking back towards 630 to the I-30 interchange. I don't recall a time where, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and we're seeing traffic like this. This is rush hour traffic. This goes back to what you were just saying. People are going home, they're getting their kids, they're trying to get home, I guess, before things, get even more worse.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of those things. I think, I don't want to call it the worst case scenario, but just in our own office, 9:30, 10 o'clock, things started to develop a little bit. Reports of sleet outside, freezing rain. People started talking about leaving early, heading out. And then the school closing started to trickle in. And then before you know it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different districts calling out. I think that's what you're seeing. You're seeing people who are trying to be safe and get home and take it easy. And it's just a combination of everyone doing it at the same time. I understand that. So that's why, again, just, take it easy and slow. As long as we're moving along slowly, we'll be okay. Allow for more time to get home, and we'll all make it before darkness hits and when conditions tend to fall off a little more. So what we're seeing now, Mitch, I kind of expect that. That's people getting out and trying to get home and maybe run to the store one last time. But hey, that's the way it is right now, and just be as safe as possible.
Yeah, we're looking at another picture here, Dave. This incident on I-430. This is going to be near, I guess this would be between 630 and Rodney Parham. It looks like there's an accident, and this is going to be, do we know anything about this one? It looks like this might be on the off-ramp, or maybe a car slid off. This seems to maybe be the picture we see the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that quite a bit. Just people slipping and sliding a little bit, and off into the shoulder. Not necessarily a major accident, thankfully, but any kind of interruption like that, with highway police, state police reacting, the blue lights, you're going to get people slowing down. I think, again, just double your time and understand that while you're trying to get home or pick up your kids or whatever, everyone else is as well. So be patient and, take it easy.
And then looking up here, this is Interstate 40, just south of Conway. Dave, can you kind of give us a picture to what drivers are experiencing on this stretch of road? Because we have seen over the course of the last 2.5 hours, this has been a stretch of interstate that just seems to be getting hit. And when I say getting hit, I'm talking about the freezing rain/sleet, and at one point sleet covering a lot of the interstate. Mm-hmm. From this perspective, it looks like a sheet of ice on this interstate. What are people seeing on this interstate as they're driving?
I think you're seeing a result of that line shifting further south than what was anticipated, what was predicted. We kind of had the cutoff point north of Conway. Our District 8, RDOT District 8, which covers Conway, they got out yesterday and they were pre-treating, and I'm happy they did, because what you're seeing could have been even worse. But I've said it many times, with ice, with freezing rain, it's very difficult to treat that. We put down as much salt brine yesterday and overnight this morning, just to give us a little bit of traction. So cars are moving there. They are getting along. It's a slow pace, but if we hadn't been out, I don't know if they would have been moving at all.
Yeah,
I'm happy for that. Just again, it's not going to get any better out there than what you're seeing now. So get home and take it easy if possible.
Yeah, things only going to get worse as the night continues, and it sounds like this is going to be kind of a 1-2 punch kind of storm as we continue to watch traffic conditions across the state. There are numerous delays, and guys, it is not just the interstates, it is all of the city streets as well. As Dave mentioned, you have parents rushing to pick up their kids because of early dismissal. You have people maybe trying to get to the grocery store. And actually, we just saw a school bus there in that live picture, probably bringing some kids home as the Little Rock School District announced an early dismissal, along with really all of the other major school districts across the state. Dave, I know you have to run. Any last minute words of wisdom here as people continue to try and brave these elements before they can get home?
Just again, be patient. I think, the timing of this, the storm ramping up a bit, the line moving down a little bit, 8, 9 o'clock, it was after school started. So everyone's in school, everyone's at work. So, and then now we've got this window from 11, 1, 2 o'clock where everyone's trying to get home. So I think what we're seeing now, I hope what we're seeing now traffic wise is the worst, so be patient and understand that you may be getting frustrated. You may be wondering, what's going on. Everyone else is as well, as far as the driving public. So just be patient, slow, and respectful. And again, I think we're all going to be okay in this.
Yeah, I think you're right. We are gonna make it through. Dave, we really don't have another option. we will make it through. We will make it through. Some great advice and just some words of wisdom there from the spokesperson for the Arkansas Department of Transportation as we continue to go through this winter weather event, kind of a surprise winter weather event, not really realizing how south some of this freezing rain and sleet was going to make it. So, Dave, best to you and everyone at RDOT trying to keep us all safe and moving here in Arkansas.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you very much. Be safe.
Yes, you as well, and all of your crew as well. If you're just joining us, good afternoon to you. I'm Mitch McCoy. We've been talking with Dave Parker. He is the spokesperson, the go-to, the voice for the Arkansas Department of Transportation, and he's been giving us a really good perspective on everything that is happening on the roads right now. This is a situation that is continuing to worsen throughout the afternoon. It's continuing to deteriorate, and I want to get to what this will do is give us a perspective to what's happening. I just have to find that button in here as I bring up. I'm bringing up the. Hold on, okay, there we go. Actually, that looks like the wrong one, but we have a backup. Sorry, guys. We are in Studio B here where I'm running the controls. So what I want to do is I want to give you a perspective to what's happening across the state right now, because this really gives you a perspective on what the road conditions are throughout Arkansas right now. And you see all of that red. That means that things are slow moving. Things are hardly moving across the state right now. Roads are bad. There is no question about it. Roads are bad, and things, according to RDOT, they're only going to get worse as the night goes on. I want to get to, we just had an incident pop up here on the RDOT map. This is going to be Interstate 40 This is going to be near the Levy exit. And here we go. All right, let me go to, okay, so this right here, as we're looking at this picture, this is incredibly dangerous, guys. I want to bring this up full because this is so dangerous. For folks just joining us, this accident just popped up on the RDOT map. In a situation like this, you know, the thing you want to do is you want to get to safety. You want to be able to get to a point to where you're not in the road, because you never know what could happen in this situation. And, you know, when you don't have, it doesn't look like there are first responders on the scene. You have a tow truck just arriving on the scene. Things are so slick outside that when you're in a situation like this, you do want to get to some kind of safety. You want to put some barriers in front of you. You want to maybe be on the other side of that guardrail, because cars may lose control and hit you and cause even more of an accident. So, and especially coming around that curve there, that's very dangerous. Thank gosh that there's a tow truck now on the scene of that accident. Again, this is going to be Interstate 40 near Levy. So this is just north of, actually this is North Little Rock. You see North Little Rock there. So this is a very bad situation, but I'm so thankful that that tow truck driver got there when he did. And I don't know if this tow truck driver just arrived on that scene because they got called, or if that tow truck driver was in fact driving to another call for service and happened to see this man appearing to just walk down one of the lanes of the interstate. But when you're in a situation like this, you need to have some kind of protection. I mean, it is just so incredibly dangerous to be walking along the interstate, walking in the lane of traffic, and possibly, and it looks like maybe right here, they're trying to wave some of these people over, and they're waiting now for maybe some kind of law enforcement to get on scene to offer lights or to offer some kind of blockage, so that way another vehicle doesn't crash into their gold car there that you see that has spun out and has hit the guardrail there. You see some minor damage to that car, and I don't know if there's any other vehicles involved, but this is really bad, and as soon as first responders get on the scene, that will offer some kind of protection to them, and the lights on their police car or whatnot will offer some kind of attention to get drivers moving over. And you can see it looks like that's what they're trying to do here on the interstate, but this is so dangerous. In a situation like this, you want to try and have some kind of protection, something blocking you from potential impact, so that way you don't get hit by another car. And when the roads are like this, you're in a situation where cars could slide out, cars could lose control and ultimately crash into you. And okay, so as we're looking at this live picture here, this is good news. I'm seeing an Arkansas state trooper arriving on the scene of this accident, and this state trooper is going to be able to offer some kind of light. I can call it light. They're the flashing blue lights and some kind of attention to get people moving over. Very thankful that Arkansas state trooper is now there on the scene and is going to be able to offer some kind of attention to get people moved over. And I'm not entirely sure what this person is doing anymore on the interstate. But what will likely happen by looking at these cameras and being able to get an idea of what these state troopers might do, this state trooper is very likely going to use the front of the patrol car to push the car out of the road completely. But we'll see how that one continues to shape up. Not entirely sure what they're going to do. But that state trooper is also aware that when a situation like this happens, the last thing you want is another distraction in the road or another situation where another accident could happen. So you likely have that trooper who's going to try and clear the pathway, try and get I-40 back open completely, and try and take whatever hazards in the road and get them out of the road. Again, this is Interstate 40 just near North Little Rock. As I'm also monitoring, we'll stay with this picture, I'm also monitoring other road conditions at this hour, and looks like we now have an accident on Interstate 630. This is going to be westbound near Rodney Parham and John Barrow. This is going to be between Rodney Parham and John Barrow. And this is another accident that just popped up, and this is going to be the scenario. This is going to be what we see all day as state troopers and first responders respond to these scenes and try to do what they can to keep the roadway clear. We have, going back to this scene up in North Little Rock, the state trooper is now blocking the 2 lanes of traffic. And it looks like we now have Interstate 40 near North Little Rock completely closed. And we'll see what the scenario is going to be here and what might happen. It looks like they're going to try and move up off the interstate and get that interstate completely moving again. And I think that that's what we're going to see. Good news there. And going back to the situation that we're seeing on Interstate 630, this is again between Rodney Parham and John Barrow. We now have this where 2 cars are in an accident. A tow truck just arrived on the scene. This is going to be westbound 630. State police on the scene. Looks like a tow truck just arriving there as well. This is going to be what state troopers respond to probably most of the day. It's going to be these accidents, at least until most people can make it home or get to where they need to. There is a lot of traffic out there right now. We were just talking with Dave Parker from the Arkansas Department of Transportation, and he was telling us that there's a lot of people out on the road, likely a lot of people that are trying to pick up their kids, trying to pick up and get to where they need to go as this winter weather continues to come in, and they're just trying to make it home before possibly that next wave of freezing rain and sleet pound the area, and I say next round, and that is the case. There is more on the way here, folks. We are not done. We are only in the very beginning of this nightmare, if you want to call it that. This is just the beginning of what is about to come. Emergency management, the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management, asking people to stay off the roads. They say that the conditions are getting worse. They're worsening by the moment here, and that they are asking people now to stay off of Arkansas roadways as things really do take a turn for the worse, and that is what's happening. Things are worsening, and you have a situation where another round of bad weather is on the way. As we're looking at this scenario or this live picture from Interstate 630 between John Barrow and Rodney Parham, you can see a tow truck arriving there, and they are trying to get all of these cars out of the way, and they're going to try and get 630 reopened as quickly as possible. Another camera perspective here for you here on KARK.com and Fox16.com. This is near the Metro. This is just near downtown Little Rock, and you can see things also slow moving at this interchange. So There's still going to be a lot to watch and a lot to monitor as the afternoon and the night continue, and we will be here every step of the way as things continue to evolve. This is, of course, one of those scenarios where if you can stay off the road, you are highly encouraged to do so. This is not a situation where you want to be on the road right now. Things are slick, things are bad, and you want to stay home if you can. We're going to continue to monitor all of the very latest on this winter weather, both on air and online at KARK.com, of course, Fox16.com, as well as we continue to monitor this winter weather event. For now, I'm Mitch McCoy. This has been a winter weather alert from KARK4, Fox 16, and the Arkansas Storm Team. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Stay home, stay warm, and most importantly, stay dry.